So I think for all school nurses and school nurse leaders, it's important to find our voice and to be comfortable with advocacy. I had the opportunity to really advocate for the school nurses in the state of Georgia. We had a whole new slate of lawmakers at our state capitol, and to include our governor. And he is very, very supportive of education and educational endeavors. So part of his platform was to support education and to put more millions of dollars into the educational setting. And one of the things that he is very concerned about is mental health issues. And so his thought process was to make sure that some of the support staff in public schools and in schools in general received an increase. So like our partners, like school social workers, school psychologists, etc., there was a proposal for them to obviously get an increase because of his zest for education. And so when we had the opportunity, our state affiliate and other school nurses around the state of Georgia, to visit the governor for a photo op for National School Nurse Day, I took the opportunity, although it was a photo op and we did not have a lot of time, when it was the appropriate time, I made sure that I introduced myself as the state director to the governor and shared with the state governor. I actually applauded him for his passion and his commitment to education and to children. But I also took the opportunity to remind him and thank him that he thought enough of school psychologists and school social workers and other support staff to propose a raise for them. But please don't forget the school nurses. And I took that opportunity to explain very briefly the importance of school nurses and the school nurse profession, and certainly what we bring to the educational setting, and how our work and our roles, certainly there is a clear link between health services and academic success. So in just a short couple of minutes, I shared with him that for instance, and this is true data in our state, about a third of our kids suffer with a chronic illness. So I actually did a count for him, and I said, so what that looks like in a classroom is, if you count off 1, 2, 3, this student has diabetes. 1, 2, 3, another student has sickle cell. 1, 2, 3, someone has asthma or seizures, and on, just so that he could get a clear picture of the role and the complexity of what school nurses have to manage every day. I also took the opportunity to mention to him that although we love our support colleagues who are in other supportive roles, oftentimes it's the school nurse who sees students well before some of our colleagues. And the clinic is such a safe place, which is why we often see children first before any of our other support staff. And I want to make it clear, I did not have a prepared speech. I knew I wanted to seize the opportunity, if there was one, to mention school nurses and our value to the educational setting. And so when that opportunity presented itself and I gave that information to him, he was so impressed, or I think he was so surprised of the short information that I shared with him, that he summoned his staff over and said, you know what, I want to hear more about this. I want to learn more about school nursing. Please set up, please give Ms. Meadows my card so that we can schedule a meeting and I can learn more about school nurses in the state of Georgia. So we were very happy about that outcome. Again, it was just an opportunity to being in the right place at the right time, utilizing my voice. So some tips and advice that I would give someone wanting to look at advocacy would just be basic things: knowing your information, being familiar with your state's information and what's going on with your school nurses, the plight of school nurses in your state, and also knowing your data. I think that's why the Every Student Counts initiative is so important. Some of that basic information, how many nurses you have in your state, what your chronic illnesses look like, how many kids are going back to school as a result of school nurses. Some of that basic information is so impactful. We know that everybody can tell stories, but data puts a real face on those stories. I think the other thing is making sure that you know your audience and who you're talking to and what really resonates with them.